All right, boom, baby. All right, here with Thomas.
What's going on?
Thomas. Hey, so kind of a question for you. I didn't even get you interested or motivated in solar. Somebody else did. Like, kind of what happened? How'd you get interested in solar in the first place?
So bought this house back in September.
Yeah.
My uncle actually helped me move in, and he's like, I got a guy for solar if you would like to, like, hit him up. Your whole roof is covered in sunlight all day. And so he sent me your info and I got a hold of you. Or no, reverse that. Get you my info. You got a hold of me, and here we are.
That's kind of all right. So now there's a little more to the story because you actually got a quote from somebody else. So you were literally marinating on it and you were pretty interested.
Yeah, I was excited about it to start with, and I kind of had already done just a little bit of info, background into it, and hit up a couple different companies. One of them never responded. The other one was quoting me crap. I want to say $27,000, and that was without any. That was with all the what's the word I'm looking for? Discounts that they could do, and I was like, I got to think about it, and then you showed me what you could do, and easy peasy.
I'm trying to remember. So I don't really remember what your other quote was, but I do remember you did homework. Those guys knew that you had quotes or you were getting quotes, so they gave you their best number. I'm trying to remember, what was the price difference? Do you remember?
Between them and you was roughly $5 to $6 grand easy.
$5 to $6 grand.
Yeah.
And I think I gave you much better financing options too. And so
yeah, exactly. And super low interest rate.
Yeah.
And I got my tax stuff put in just today, actually, and so that should come back here shortly. So I'll have it in time for this year's taxes and get that bonus back too.
Get all that cheddar back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. You and I looked at, because on that thread on the price, because I knew I was quite a bit less, and that was, in fact, I think you even told me their prices when I got there. You kind of showed me the prices, and I'm like, it don't matter. I'm a wholesale provider. I'll just give you the best deal, dude. It don't matter. Then, but what I recall, I swear my payment was like half because the rate I gave you was like way, way better, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the interest rate was definitely better. I never got a monthly, what my monthly would be through them, because like I said, like you were saying too, I marinated on it and never really started much of the work after that because it was insanely high comparatively. So I don't know what their monthly would have been. I'm betting it would have been more because you outquoted them on the first day. So
right after did they have more than one crack at trying to give you a better deal and a better deal and a better deal?
Oh
Is
yeah.
that what it was?
Oh yeah. They called me back roughly when we were, I think it was like the day before we actually met. And they're like, oh, you know what? We can actually do this. And they knocked off like 500. And I'm like, no, like, hold on to that. We'll see what this guy has. And then while you came, sold me on it, got all the paperwork started, they called me again a couple weeks later, like, okay, we can knock off another 500. I'm like, you guys need to add at least another zero to how much you're knocking off to even be in the ballpark. So can't do that with you guys. And they were pretty persistent too. Like they just kept trying. I'm like, I already have panels up. What can we do to get more panels? Nothing. I don't know what to tell you on that.
You don't know it because I probably was that much less, and I gave you additional panels to boot because everybody wants more, man.
Yeah, I think I only need like 15. I ended up getting 20.
Yeah, that's about it. About it.
It was still under what they were going to charge me for the 15. Substantially.
Yep. That's probably, I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to at least capture this or at least talk to you about it, because I see that over and over and over again. And what I notice is they'll ask them what their electric bill is, and then they'll bid it to their electric bill. And I'm like, man, last time I checked, they wanted savings, man. Like
Yeah.
hook them
And
up
like,
with some savings.
and what was great about it is I even hooked you up with my buddy Doug, and he ended up getting, I think, in total like 54, something like that.
Yeah, it
Just a
was a lot.
ridiculous amount. But yeah, it was a good enough experience that I was willing to get your name out there with my friends as well.
Yes. Um, I can't remember. I think we added like 8 or 10 extra up on his house. He's like, here, he goes, man, give me. I even adding 8 to 10 extra, I was still less than his bill. And he's like, you got to be kidding, bro. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
kid you not, man. You want to, like a friend of mine said, he wanted a meat locker. I'm like, you want a meat locker? And he goes, yeah, I work outside. When I come home, I want to freeze.
Yeah. And
So
yeah, he's got a family and everything, so they run up that power a little bit. So he's pretty stoked on it. I think they just got his net meter and everything installed recently. So
yep.
I told him the first month bill, like, don't count that. Look, wait to the second because that'll be the first full month on it. And even
Yeah.
the first one, apparently, he's pretty happy with.
Yeah. The
So it's
first
only
month
gonna
will
get better from there.
it'll psych you out because it has a partial solar and partial rocky unless you can hit the exact date, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, no, that they'll never do that.
Yeah. So nah, it was cool. But heck, bro, that's part of the reason we're on the call today anyways, because I got a pile of cheddar for you, man.
I'm
So,
about it.
yeah, and I probably the biggest thing I get a kick out of is I like saving you guys money. I like helping you get a better lifestyle because I know you want to use more electricity and just make it cheap. But
Yeah,
probably on the backside is I get a kick out of just helping. Like I like helping folks make passive income.
yeah,
Make
and
a good
then
life.
I plan on, like you were saying with yours, paying mine off in about a year, maybe two, because it's not that much, especially if you budget it through, and then
Yeah.
tax season and all that stuff, you can get it paid off real quick, and then everything you make or everything that comes in extra, you get money for.
Dude, it's true, man. It's true. Like this year I'm adding extra panels up on my house, and then I'm gonna
Yeah,
drop a
I'm thinking I want
battery.
to do that once I get these ones paid off, is to add another 20 on the other side of the house and just keep it coming.
Keep it up there.
Hmm.
That's
Let
funny.
the power company pay my mortgage. I don't care.
Whatever, right? Boom. Well, good for you, man. So, I mean, I I think the question's obvious, but because you already recommended me to somebody else. But like, what was your experience working with me? Was it okay, or what? What did you think?
It was, I guess. No, it was great. It really was. You came all the way up from I don't want to say locations. I'm not sure if that's what this video is with, but
Oh,
you came
yeah,
an hour or two out of your way to come down to actually meet me at my house and actually sit down and chat about it. So
yeah.
that already says so much about how you do and what you're willing to do. Um, yeah, it was great. There was a couple issues, but it wasn't with you. It was like they had my email wrong and they were trying to get me info and back and forth. And they finally called me and they're like, "Oh, we spelled your last name wrong," like everybody does. So yeah, everything with you was great though, man.
Got it nailed. Yeah, the only way I actually work with is like referrals. And
Hmm.
so when somebody asked me to go up Salt Lake or whatever where you're at, and they said, "Go, can you go see him?" I'm like, "Dude, I'll go up there and I'll like if I give it to him at half price, he'll be pretty happy.
Yeah,
It's pretty easy. Like for friends and friends, I'll do that all day long and help them out. So it was
easy.
you're
Sorry,
good.
I've got pups running around too. That's why I keep looking off. He's zipping.
You're good, dude. You're good. Well, man, like what would you say to somebody who's kind of on the fence? Like a lot of people are curious, interested in solar, but they don't know a lot about it, and so then they have a whole bunch of questions. So what would you
Mhm.
suggest?
Do your research. I did a lot of research on it. Hit where I needed to with the blueprints and everything you guys, the engineering team, went through with.
Yeah.
And I'd say get quotes, but you're not gonna beat what Mike's able to give you. So you might always shop around, always get the information you can. But I hit up two, maybe three in total, and nobody came close. Yeah. So
It's like that. I had a guy just the other day. He literally just called me out of the blue, called me up, and he's like, "Hey, Mike, everybody on Facebook talks about you." And he said, "I've got like 6 quotes, and I really want it, but do you mind? Would you just come over and just sit down and talk to me about it and just show me what you got?" I came over, I showed it to him. He's like, "Oh my word!" He's like, "Let's do it."
Exactly. It's easy to pull the trigger once those numbers are in front of you.
Right?
That's like I said, once you get quotes and you start putting those numbers side by side, it's not even a question.
Yep, not even a question, dude. Boom, baby. All right, brother. Well, I mean, I'm glad you took a second. You're willing to shoot this video with me. People are always curious. I think the biggest thing I run into is they think you got to be rich. You got to put a ton of money down.
Not at all.
I know, right? Nothing down. I put the solar up. You're good.
See, I thought the same thing too. And I was like, uh-oh, that's for people who have like $500,000, $750,000 houses and are able to pay that and go on all these expensive vacations. And nah, I'm a regular Joe who's able to do it. So everybody should be able to do it. If I can do it, you can do it, kind of thing.
Right, dude? If you got a house and you got a power bill, you probably qualify.
Right?
So, yeah. Boom. Well, love it, man. Love it. Let's see.